Back again. So I had some issues there. I was cut off. My computer kind of froze up in the middle of some shit. Hopefully the first part of the video comes out. If not, then I'll redo it. Anyways, let me go right back. I'll just start over. Hopefully you heard my ramble from the first video. I'll just go right back to it. To the report from Addicting Info. I'm sure everybody will see this by the end of the day. It'll be viral. Probably already is. It says, after cop threw student across the room, one girl came to defense, was arrested too. A deputy assigned to be high school's resource officer has been placed on paid administrative leave pending investigation after a video surfaced online showing him choke slam a young student out of her seat and hurl across the classroom. Her crime? She had pulled out her cell phone during class. Well, you know, that just seems a little bit fucking hasty to me. Choke slamming kids because of their cell phones. Yeah, at the same time, we are in a cell phone environment where everybody's got to get the new fucking gadgetry every 6 months. How do you expect not to? And then you give them to your kids. How do you expect your teenager or your fucking preteen to not play with them all day at school and to get in trouble for them at school? Okay, that's one point of view. So first of all, the parents need to educate your kids. Stop fucking around in class. I tell my kids all the time. It's like a job when you go to school. You need to pay attention. You need to give respect and do what you're asked to do. You know what I mean? That's it. But besides that, let's get into the deepness. The other part of the problem is that a cop physically assaulted a teenager in the classroom because she pulled her cell phone out, supposedly. It's an accusation. I don't know. I wasn't there. And of course, the video is only 15 seconds long, so there's not a whole lot of evidence here. And all of you guys will see it. Let's see if I can play it. That's not the video. The problem with a lot of these sites is... Oh, wait, no, it's playing. It's playing. Excuse me? Why didn't that teacher do some shit? Say something, cuz. You hear him struggling? You hear him putting all his fucking back into that work like he's trying to get it, right? Like he's getting it. Ain't that a fucking tough guy? I'm going to tell you why that pisses me off, tough guy. Really? You've been training for how long to come grab that girl up out her chair like that? So you could throw her across the fucking room? No. Y'all can check out everybody else's shit if you want to listen to it. See the way he heaved that girl, man? I want to go back. I want to pull that video up. Anyways, you guys will find the video, man. And I'll try to find a link and shit. Looks, the video already went viral. Let me read the report. After the video went viral, people all over the world began wondering why other students, especially the teacher, didn't jump up to help the girl. I'm sorry, but that's the first thing I would do without even fucking thinking. Like, excuse me, sir. You're in my classroom. As a teacher, how dare you handle somebody like that? And why the fuck would you toss an underage human being across the room like that? Because she didn't stand up and comply to you, Mr. Gestapo? You know what I mean? Damn it. This is why I don't do these things no more. Excuse me while I take this phone call. I'll be right back. Phone calls and kids, man. Anyways, the teacher's inaction, according to this report that I'm reading, the teacher's inaction was inexcusable, and I agree. Having called the officer down in the first place, he stood by and watched as one of his students was assaulted. Bam. Bam. That's one of your students. You're in charge of 30 fucking 45 minutes, 55 minutes, however long that class is. Guess what? You're an adult in charge of 30, you know what I'm saying, or less kids, individuals. You're in charge of instructing and teaching and shaving them to become fucking better, a parent, you know what I'm saying? Acceptable people of society, right? But this is what we need to remember, okay? Most of these people don't give a shit. This is an institution. They don't give a shit how you're treated. They're paid by the state. They're paid by our taxes, just like that officer is, right? And they're not going to do anything to get out of fucking line because they're afraid to lose their fucking situation too. Just like the rest of the civilians are. We're afraid to lose our lives and our jobs if we act out of line. You know what? Fuck that shit. It's time to fucking act out of line because we are not going to handle this shit very well anymore. I feel it. We all feel it. We all know it's coming. And how fucking dare you touch a fucking child like that? How dare you? I could see something if that kid was beating on somebody, then you grab them up like that. Maybe you toss them around because they're acting fucking ridiculous. This child was sitting in their fucking chair. And this is just the video, right? The video that we have to work on. And I'm sure there's more to it. All right, so maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. But first of all, I don't give a fuck. An officer needs to be taught how to, de-escalate the situation. They need to be mediators. They are fucking given some sort of psychology classes where they could talk people down. This motherfucker right here is just a beefhead who likes to throw people around. I tell you right now, sir, why don't you come over here and throw me around? I'm a little bit heavier than that person. And I'll tell you what, I don't give a shit you got a badge on or not, bro. You want to try to throw me around like that? Come do it. Come do it. I don't even know what to say. I'm fucking sick of seeing shit like this. You know what? It's one thing when it's adults. And adults make a bad choice and they make a bad situation and they're on drugs or they're doing whatever they fucking do and they go out in public and then the cops are called and they're handled a certain way. Of course, that's a little bit different. Here's a child sitting in the fucking classroom. Okay? A temporary ward of the state, because that's what they are when we give them to school. When we take them to school every day, they're a fucking ward of the state. The state is in charge of them, right? And look how the fucking state treats your children. You agree with that? So I don't. I'll read some more of this before I get too angry. Let me scroll back up because I skipped a couple. As for the students, the reaction is much more understandable. In an interview with Addicted Info's Cassandra Fairbanks, a fellow student and witness to the assault, spoke out, and why his classmates sat silently as this happened. Of course they sat silently. What the hell do you expect a student to do? I mean, these kids these days are crazy, and if they see one of theirs getting attacked, they usually step on up. But this is a fucking cop, and even full-grown motherfucking men are afraid to stand up and say something to the motherfucking police because they got fucking guns and a license to kill. You know what? That shit needs to be done. That fucking time is done. We've been dealing with shit like that from this goddamn Gestapo fucking police since the fucking 50s and 60s when they started squashing people's fucking heads with boots and spraying them with fucking water cannons and attacking them with dogs. You know what I'm talking about. Civil rights. We have no civil rights. And these people aren't fucking civil. And I'm not saying it's time to act stupid or anything, but it's time for these motherfuckers to be held accountable. And it's time for stand-byers, those who are fucking filming some shit. Guess what? All the people that got filmed, you know what I'm saying? You got filmed watching this shit happen. How good do you feel about yourself? There needs to be something instilled in us. Instead of being fucking victims, we go back to being fucking hardcore Americans. People don't fucking tread on us. People don't treat us like that for no fucking reason. Let me continue. However, one classmate did stand up and try to defend the victim. Her experience just goes to show why other students felt seated. Naya Kenny, a senior in the class, dared to call the cop out for the awful way he was treating her classmate, and the resource officer, Ben Fields, that's his fucking name, promptly arrested her. Speaking with WLTX, Kenny relived her scary experience. I was crying and screaming and crying like a baby, quote, says Kenny. I was in disbelief, end quote. I know this girl don't got nobody, and I can believe this was happening, Kenny explained. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. A man used that much force on a little girl, a big man, like 300 pounds, a full muscle. Yeah, he's probably like 225, but all right, that doesn't matter. That's a man throwing around a fucking child. A big man, like 300 pounds, full of muscle. I was like, no way, no way. You can't do anything like that to a little girl. I'm talking about she's like 5'6". I don't care how big anybody is. McKinney says that Officer Fields was a big man. She isn't exaggerating. According to school records, he moonlights as a strength conditioning coach for the high school's football team. Of course he does. He's a fucking steroid head. Watch. There are also videos posted on YouTube which appear to be Officer Fields documenting his ability to bench press up to 600 pounds. Oh, what a tough guy. It was no surprise that he was able to toss the female student as a sure ragdoll. Of course, man. That's probably a 125-pound individual, and this guy can bench press 600 pounds? Psh, tough fucking guy, huh? This fucking tough guy right here. He also has a history of intimidation, assault against students and others. At the school, other students had many disturbing stories about the way Fields treated them. You can see this stuff on the screen. I'm not going to read the quotes, but in 2007, Fields was sued in federal court after allegedly assaulting an Army veteran over a noise complaint. The case was eventually dismissed, but his days outside the courtroom were short-lived. He's due back in 2016 over allegations by former students that he had harassed and unlawfully targeted African-American students. There's that tie-in. There's the cops with the African-Americans / black / fucking, I don't care, no disrespect, however you want to label them. I'm going to tell you right now, fellow Americans, fellow humans, fellow Earth people, I look at you all the same. I don't classify you as African, European, Francican, fucking stupid-akin. No, I do classify people as stupid because, goddamn it, some people are stupid. But to me, you're a human being and should not be labeled. Your label should not take away from the worth that you have inside of you and what you are as a being, a human being, an entity, a life. You know what I'm saying? African-American, European-American, Mexican-American, Native American, man. Man, we'll talk about that soon, man. I got some stuff. You guys, the genocide of America, the ongoing genocide in this United States of America, before it became the United States of America, before all this bullshit, before the internet. Y'all pay attention. These the native, quote unquote, Native Americans, man, the first peoples of this nation, the first peoples of this earth who were living here before the European invasion have faced more genocide, crucifixion, criminalization, fucking everything that you can ever imagine. They're not forced to live on reservations anymore, but you know what anyway, sorry, I'll save that. Sorry. Yo, mad shout out to my brothers and sisters. So, you know what I mean? You know who you are. All of you. Continue. Given that background, it's remarkable that any student has the guts to stand up to this sort of violence. I would stand up. Instead of getting praise from her school, was charged with disturbing schools and placed in handcuffs. She was charged with, okay, so the student who called out the officer was charged. Let's see why. Quotation says, I was screaming, what the F is really happening? I was praying out loud for the girl, says Kenny. I just couldn't believe this was happening. I was crying, and he said, since you have so much to say, you're coming too. Because that's what we get now. And I've been there. I've been arrested for talking. Believe that. They call it threats. Verbal abuse, disturbing the peace, many other things they could say. Whatever. If you talk back, they have a charge for you. Believe that. Continuing. That seems to suggest there's a larger problem than just Fields. Spring Valley High School appears to have covered for this dangerous officer's actions for years. Nobody should have to spend, excuse me. My beautiful daughter is trying to sing an Elsa song. I had to tell her to stop for a second. Anyways, it appears that Spring Valley High School has covered for this dangerous officer's actions for years. Nobody should have to spend their school days in fear that the man paid to protect them will lose composure at a moment's notice and hurl you to the ground. Seeing how scared those children were as they sat in a room where an officer was this violent should be a wake-up call for all of us. Agreed. And like I said at the beginning, I, as a 35-year-old man, have had run-ins with the police. My fault, mostly, most of the time. I'm an instigator. I'm a shit talker. What the fuck is going on here? Looks like I'm frozen again. Am I frozen again? No, okay. Holy cow. So I have had run-ins with the police where here's what I've taken away from my encounters with the police officers. They demand respect, right? And the question is whether or not they're entitled to it. Okay, they are not above anybody else on this planet. And not that I'm in huge favor of people in the military, no disrespect to those people, but guess what, man? It's a fucking job. You get paid to do it, and there are certain risks involved. That does not give you carte blanche to do whatever you feel. You understand what I'm saying? Taking of life, assaulting people, stealing, lying, doing whatever is unjustifiable on any platform of life, any platform, socially, as a job, personally. I don't give a shit. And it's time that we put an end to that shit somehow. You know what I mean? And I'm surprised more people don't fucking have a problem with shit like this. How come when I see a video of kids getting tossed around, or unfortunately like Tamir Rice in what was it, Cleveland or Chicago? I'm sorry if I can't remember. That officer was justified for shooting this 12-year-old boy who was playing with his BB gun or toy gun. I'm not sure if it was a BB gun or not. It might not even fire any projectiles. But it didn't have an orange tip on it. So he's dead. Because that officer, and we've all seen the fucking video, that officer rolled up, barely stopped his car, got out, pop, 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 plow. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fucking question nobody. That's not a fucking man. That's a fucking coward. You hear me? I don't give a fuck who gets offended by that. You're a fucking coward. You took that goddamn job as an honorable position that you thought you could fulfill, right? You're a big man. You could be a soldier, or you could be an officer, and you could do this and that. But what you did is fucked it for a lot of people. You can't kill kids, man. There's no excuse. If a kid's running at you with an AK, motherfucker, what you gonna do? You gonna shoot that kid? I can almost guarantee you that you're faster. You can move. There's things you could do. And even if you get shot by a 12-year-old with a fucking AK, isn't that better than spending the rest of your days knowing you shot a fucking kid? Pussy-ass motherfucker. Take a bullet. Run at that kid. Check him with your elbow. Drop kick him. Something. I'm sure you play football. I bet you can tackle, fool. Most of these goddamn cops are jocked up, fucking couldn't make the NFL dicks anyways, right? Use your goddamn size and your power for something else when it's justified. Unlike this cop, this motherfucking asshole, Officer Ben Fields, who, in my opinion, and plenty of people as well, I'm sure, did not have the fucking right to treat that human being that way. It just gets me charged up because when it involves kids, dude, I mean, that's my life, man. This is what I spend my time doing. I don't have my full-time job for the rest of my life, and well, until they move on out of my house and stuff. And even then, though, is to take care of these people I help create. And that shit makes my blood boil. You know what I mean? You see somebody manhandling a child like that, what do you think? What's your first reaction? How would you guys handle that? For the two people who says are watching, I believe there's I set up like a Q&A on the side of. Damn it, my computer's acting so stupid right now. Anyways, usually when I run these things, there's if you're watching it from the YouTube platform, there's a little area on the side of the screen where you can type in things for questions and answers or comments or whatever. Thank you for watching. If you are still watching, this says 2 viewers. I appreciate that. Ranting and raving about the police thing, but I'll ask you the question directly. If this was your kid, regardless of what they did, supposedly there was a phone, she pulled out the phone, wouldn't put the phone away. I don't know, right? How would you handle it if that was your kid getting tossed around over such a silly fucking infraction? How would you react? I can tell you this from my point of view. I would not, by the end of the day, I'd be in jail. By the end of the fucking day, I would. Because I would, first of all, I would go to the school and be like, what the fuck do you think you guys are allowing to happen to my child? I gave him to you. You're supposed to take care of him. What's the deal? Why did you allow this to go happen on your property? How come you couldn't resolve the issue? And if you couldn't resolve the issue, why don't you hit me up at work or at home or whatever? You know what I mean? And try to make it so I could resolve the issue. I would, you know what? I would take off work. I didn't care if I would have to lose my job. If it came down to my kid getting tossed around, arrested, and treated like a fucking asshole criminal over a cell phone infraction, I would happily lose my job. Happily. I would happily give my life right now for somebody else's kid who got tossed around a classroom like that. You know what I mean? Happily. Without fucking a second thought. I wouldn't allow that shit to happen. And it's about time that we stop allowing shit like this to happen to our kids. It gets me so riled up, man. I'm trying to pull up the video. I don't know how this live video shit works, so I gotta get somebody to help me out. There's like encoding and stuff you gotta do, and so if you're dropping off questions and stuff like that, I don't know. I'll figure that stuff out. I'll talk to my brother. He'll help me out. So the next live thing we do, hopefully, will be more interactive. So yeah, that went a little bit longer than I thought it would. We covered a couple of subjects here, and that's what I'm trying to do from now on. When I have the time, when I can, the availability, yada yada. I will be moving soon, so I don't know how the internet will be for me after the end of this next coming month. I might be blacked out for a while, but I feel a lot of energy. You guys feel that? Like after almost a year of like suffocating, dense, stale air, I feel something. A new stage coming. And maybe that's just my personal life blossoming the way it should, or maybe it's an actual connection for all of us. These are things I like to speak about. I like to share. I like to talk about. I like to learn from, So I guess I'll leave that at that. Sorry about the computer problems. Whatever, man. Appreciate you joining and watching. Hopefully there'll be more of you in the future. If you did watch this video, drop me a comment. Let me know what your name is, and if you'd like to join me sometime. Some information you'd like to share. Whatever. Suggestions. Whatever it may be. I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys soon. Probably by the end of the week, man. I'm thinking that like I said, I'm going to step this up a little bit more with the cool hangouts and try to be a little bit more productive. Pick a couple of topics every other day and, share some articles, conversate. Instead of just sharing on the Facebook, which I've been doing for quite a while, I'm going to try to be more proactive and get involved and, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, hey, this is Frankie Scrim, a.k.a. Frank Rogers. Yo, loyalty, respect, death before dishonor. That's how I fucking roll. How do you roll? Join me next time on Breaking Borders Live. Stay good. Keep your head up. Clear your mind. Clear your heart. Take a deep breath. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do to be you. Stay you, and don't let anybody change that shit. And it's coming to fruition. The time that everybody fears. The time of change. The time where nothing is promised. Uncertainty. Oh my God, I can I'm going to give it about 27% that it's going to be a good thing. I'm usually not that fucking, what do you call it? Positive. But I'm determined to do my part. And if enough of us come together who have the same kind of positivity and perseverance, then the world has no choice but to go with us, man. Change starts with one person. You know what I mean? One person, one idea, one thought, one sentence, one share, one like, whatever. One conversation. It starts there. Let's get this shit started. You know what I mean? Yeah. Respect. Have a great fucking day, y'all. I'll see you guys later. Peace.